Welcome back.
Numero, what is it?
Diaz.
Diaz, yeah. I was thinking Diaz, but I thought again, I was like, is it Diaz?
Diaz de los Muertos.
Yeah, man. As much Spanish as I've used in the last week, I should have known that.
Come on, man.
I know.
How was your day?
It was okay. It was kind of lazy for the most part, at least in the beginning. Had a late night. Yeah, it was mostly productive.
Me too.
Yeah, I had to learn how to program on the Demco on Honeywell. That thing is not as bad as you would think, but also it just kind of sucks having to learn it for the first time.
Nice.
Anyways, you got a bear fact for us?
I do have a bear fact.
Okay, bear fact. Here it comes.
Baby bears are called cubs. Everyone knows that. Female bears are called sows. S-O-W-S.
Sows.
A male bear is called a boar.
A boar?
Boar, as in like the hog.
B-O-A-R?
Yes. And then a group of bears is a sloth.
A sloth of bears.
Yeah.
I think I've heard that expression before, now that I think about it.
Dude, what would you do if you woke up just drinking your coffee, looked out your backyard, and there's just a sloth of bears?
A sloth. How many are in the sloth?
I would say it would have to be more than... It would have to be like 3 or more for it to be a sloth.
I don't understand the idea of naming a group of animals a different thing that they're named, like a pride of lions, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So now you have to memorize how to name them plurally. So now every animal has 2 names. You know what I mean?
A murder of crows.
Exactly. Same thing. I mean, there's some that are kind of fun to say, like a murder of crows.
Yeah.
I think a sloth of bears is kind of cool.
Yeah. Unique.
It is, yeah. But then,
a sloth. I don't
but then
know
what's a group of zebras called? You don't have to look it up. But
I'm kind of curious now.
okay, no, don't do zebras. Do giraffes.
I'm gonna do both.
Zebras and giraffes. That's the thing. 'Cause there's so many different kinds of animals. And there's so many animals you probably don't even know the name of. That you see them, you're like, oh yeah, I've seen that animal before, but you have no idea what it's called. But now you have to learn its 2 names.
A group of zebras can be called a dazzle.
A dazzle of zebras.
Dazzle of zebras.
See, this is just someone having fun naming more names for animals.
I wonder how much they got paid.
Nothing. Definitely nothing.
Just take a guess at what a group of giraffes is called.
A pride.
A tower of giraffes.
A tower of giraffes. That's perfect. A tower of giraffes. You know what? That's a really fitting name.
A group of elephants is a parade.
A parade of elephants. Okay. I like that.
A crash of rhinoceroses.
A crash. See, now they're just getting lazy with the names. They're just like, oh yeah, what does it look like? What does it do? And let's just name it that. Then you go back to the crows. It's like, are the crows murdering people?
A group of donkeys is called a drove, as in like you drove your car.
Yeah, a drove. Because there could be a drove of anything. Like, I feel like a drove just describes a bunch of, like, there's an area that's plentiful in whatever you're talking about, like a drove of strawberries or something.
A troop of monkeys.
A troop. Yeah.
Troop 141.
Let's rally the troops.
Oh my god, that'd be funny. They should do that in a movie. Rally the troops.
It's just a bunch of monkeys with machine guns.
Monkey. I think monkey memes are funny.
I think monkey memes are very funny. I do like those.
Monkey.
Have you been following the Olympics very much? Has they been happening? The 2020 Olympics in 2021?
No, I have not.
I just think it's interesting. They still call it the 2020 Olympics, even though it's not.
So are they going to do the Olympics in 24 or 5?
I would say probably 24.
They would have to.
Yeah.
You can't break that streak.
Right, but also they have the games scheduled way ahead, years. I would say that the next at least 2 or 3 venues have already been identified, and they're already preparing for them.
Yeah. What if they did? You know, it'd be crazy if they did like one year they did Chernobyl Olympics. Have you read the Chernobyl book or like the movies?
Well, I know what Chernobyl is and I know what happened, but I think I've read a documentary or I watched one on YouTube about the elephant's foot that's there. It's just this blob of radioactive goo.
Elephant's foot.
It's called the elephant's foot, and it is like a million bananas just like compounded into one blob that sits.
A million bananas.
Well, I mean, you've heard that, right? That bananas have a little bit of radiation in them when you eat them.
I fucking love bananas.
Or you can
I've
get,
been
but
eating
like,
too many bananas.
but then it's like you have to eat so many bananas to get radiation poisoning.
I mean, it's
But
like upwards of 3 a day.
no, it'd be like in one sitting eating like thousands of bananas, and then you get radiation poisoning. But I don't think that'd be the first thing that kills you.
Potassium overdose.
But yeah, potassium overdose is probably one. No, it wouldn't be. It would just your stomach exploded because you ate way too many bananas. But the reason I ask, I do still think it's funny that they called the 2020 Olympics. I just feel like it's a branding thing.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like
sure.
they spent all this time and money branding it as the 2020 Olympics.
I mean, you got to think about it. Japan is the perfect country for 2020. They get the red
Well, it is.
circle.
It is in Tokyo.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said it.
Okay.
But Japan has the perfect flag, like for the red circle to fill in. So I mean, they had to. They had to. Got to represent.
Is that how they branded it as 2020? Then the zeros are the Japanese flag.
No, it's not like the flag, but like the zeros that go across for the Olympics. The red one's full. Like.
Oh,
colored
I
in.
see. Okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense. I looked up the medal count. Usually, I really don't care because the U.S. ends up winning the most medals and has the most golds. But currently, as it is, the U.S. has the most medals, and it's not really that close. It's by about 17 medals in between the United States and China.
Okay.
But then China has 5 more gold medals.
So whenever it comes down to like who won the Olympics, do they do it by
Like
golds?
total medal count, or is it the gold? I don't know. That's a good question. Because I feel like in the past, it's always been U.S. has the most medals and they have the most gold medals.
Yeah.
So then it doesn't really matter. It's like, yeah, the U.S. won the Olympics again. But there's still, I think, 5 more days left. No, there's 3 more days left for the Olympics as it stands right now as I'm saying this. So the U.S. could win more gold medals. China could win more gold medals. But at this point, it's interesting. United States. But I think what they're going to end up doing is, yeah, whoever has the most gold medals
Yeah.
is deemed the quote unquote winner of the Olympics because that's the way how everyone ranks it. Or maybe they're ranking it that way because that's the only category that anyone's beating the United States in. So I don't know. Just looking for a new winner. I think the biggest, there's actually been a couple sports that the U.S. has just not been all there in. And ones that make headlines is like the U.S. men's basketball team. They've been not great. They've been beat by
A few.
by a handful of countries. And then the U.S. women's soccer team got eliminated, I think, in the semifinals, maybe. So they didn't medal, or they don't even have a chance to get a medal because they got eliminated in the semifinals.
So wait, if there's Olympic soccer and then there's like the World Cup.
There's also Olympic baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Okay.
I'm updated.
Okay. What about the World Cup?
But like if there's a World Cup and the Olympics, like do you get to pick one? Like you either represent, I mean, does like Ronaldo represent he's Barcelona, right?
I think he's Spain.
God damn it, Brandt.
Yes. I don't know enough about soccer to be able to weigh in on anything. So I would say the only soccer player that I really know about that is foreign of the United States would be Messi. And I know Messi's Argentinian.
Yep. Everyone.
And so I don't know if he's competing in the Olympics. He might be. But
No idea.
even then, I don't understand your question. Like, yeah, I think they would compete both in the World Cup and the Olympics.
Makes sense.
Because I know that in tennis, they're doing Olympic tennis. I guess this might be the first year they're doing Olympic tennis.
That's cool.
Maybe they've done it in the past. Maybe they started doing it recently. But a lot of, I know Novak Djokovic, he competed and he lost to Zverev.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, Zverev, beat him. And then...
Wait, they did Olympic they've already done it?
I don't know. Actually, I should probably look that up. Let's see.
I like tennis.
I do like tennis too.
Tennis is fun. Even if you're not good, just running around and hitting a ball back and forth is... It seems dull from hindsight, but it's fun.
Oh, so Zverev won. He won gold.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he beat Djokovic, and then he beat... I'm probably going to butcher his name. Kashanov. I can't tell what country he's from. ROC. I should know what country that is.
Let's just change it to USSR.
No. What country is ROC? Oh, the Russian Olympic Committee, because Russia got banned.
Oh,
Remember that?
Right. I completely forgot about that.
So Russia as a whole got banned from the Olympics. I don't know for how long, but the Russian athletes are still allowed to compete, but they just can't represent Russia because of the cheating that happened a few years ago.
It broke rules for anti-doping.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened. I mean, it's crazy what happened. I mean, they were basically, it was like state-sponsored doping. They would like dope up everybody on all the Russian athletes. I think they would make them do it too.
Okay, so this is the only year it's going to happen. It was initially sentenced to 4 years in 2019, so it would end in 2023, but they moved it to 2 years.
Okay, so they're just banned from the Olympics for this Olympics.
Yeah.
So then, so they punished Russia, but not being able to be in Olympics technically, but then the athletes aren't being punished, so they can still compete, which is nice, I guess. Then how many of those guys or girls that were competing with, like, knowing full well that they were doping when they got caught, that are now competing?
It would be so funny if all of the Russian athletes just took gold in everything the 1 year that they're banned from the Olympics.
Yeah.
So, like, how does that go down in history? The ROC.
Maybe, yeah. It would go down in history as ROC, because then when Zverev beat the man's name that I mentioned earlier, I guess he would get a medal, and then it would just be, he would be representative of the ROC. So it's just the Russian Olympic Committee.
Huh.
Yeah, but so Zverev won. Good for him. But yeah, so then, I mean, there's also a handful of people that just don't compete in the Olympics because they're more concerned about the majors of their actual sports. I know there's a handful of golfers that didn't decide that they wanted to do it. Because I feel like, Dustin Johnson, he could have done it, or Spieth could have done it, and I don't think they did. Or maybe they didn't even get invited to do it, but I'm sure that they could have.
Oh, fuck those guys.
But then, I think Rafael Nadal, Rafael Nadal in tennis, he didn't do the Olympics. Roger Federer didn't do the Olympics.
Roger Federer is coming out of an injury, though. He had a knee injury like last fall or something like that.
Yeah.
He's been in and out of the ATP.
But he's been playing in tournaments. I think he played in the French Open. And
he came back like a month or two ago.
Yeah, I think he tried to play in Wimbledon as well. I think at Roland Garros at the French Open, I think he withdrew.
Yeah.
And then, because he wanted to get ready for Wimbledon. I don't know how that turned out, because Wimbledon happened about a month ago. Let's see, 2021 Wimbledon. I also just realized recently that Wimbledon, I mean, it's the oldest tennis tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also a really small town in the UK. Very, very small town. Wimbledon. So who won it?
Do your British accent.
I'm not even going to try.
Please.
No, I really...
I'll do it, mate.
That's Australian. Oh, okay, yeah. And Wimbledon, Djokovic won. What a surprise. Yeah. It's kind of weird how Djokovic has become literally the most unpopular tennis player on the tour, and he's arguably the best right now. But anyways, enough about tennis.
Yeah, Brandt, everyone hates tennis. We don't want to listen to you ramble about garbage.
Well,
kidding, I love tennis.
I like tennis. I like playing tennis, and it's fun watching guys and gals do really cool stuff on the tennis court, making magic happen.
Mm-hmm.
I sent Major a clip recently. There's this one clip of, I forget the guy's name, but there's this drop shot, and he runs up to the net, and he like slices it right before it hits the ground, and probably a dime could fit between the tennis ball and the net, and it just kind of like goes right over the net and then back down. It was probably,
you can't even be mad if that happens.
Like if that happens to you, it's like when you're playing and the ball hits the net and it just kind of goes over and just dunks to the other side. It's like, well, I can't even get mad. Like,
I couldn't do anything about that.
Right. There's nothing that can be done about that.
But then there's a flip side. Like, fuck, what am I supposed to do about that?
Yeah. I still think it's kind of interesting that, like shooting, like with shot, like, do they do skeet shooting in the Olympics? Isn't that a thing?
I think so. I know there's some kind of shooting.
There's definitely some kind of shooting. I just think that's funny that, okay, I don't think it's funny, but it's an Olympic sport. I guess it's that widely recognized as a competition. People shoot skeet. Because usually whenever I think of the Olympics, I think of like track and field and hammer throw is track and field, but then swimming and basketball.
Yeah, it's skeet.
It is skeet. Interesting. Yeah. Skeet shooting
They
Olympic.
do it by 4 gun types, 3 distances, and 3 shooting positions.
I'm still looking at some pictures right now. They're pretty cool. Those over-under shotguns that they use
Yeah.
are awesome. They're so cool. I think if there's any one gun that I'd like to have at some point in my life is one of those repeating rifles.
Yeah.
It's got the lever action.
Lever action, dude. I was just talking to David, and when I was at Nikolai's last night, we were talking about if zombie apocalypse comes, what's the first thing you're grabbing? And it has to be like a hand something, like a knife or something like that.
Like a handgun or like a
No, you can't pick a gun yet, but like zombies start coming and you have to pick up whatever.
whatever blunt or sharp object.
Yeah, my picks were an axe and a baseball bat.
I would go a step further and I would say baseball bat with nails in it.
Okay,
Then
I guess you're gonna be cooler than me.
And I would have one side nails and the other side's blunt. So I could have blunt force and then stabby.
Yeah.
I can do all the stabby. But then gun wise, I mean, I don't know why you'd pick a lever action rifle.
What are you kidding? Just bop, bop,
Yeah, I mean,
bop and throw.
when you could have a machine gun.
I want to be cool and actually try. I don't want to just sit there and spray and camp. I want to run around and trick shot, man. Dude, I would kill to hit like a 360 no scope on a
I feel like some
zombie.
people would have too much fun with the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, there would. That's so true. There are so many people that would be like, "It's happening." Fuck yeah.
Right. But there's so many people that are preparing for it. Are just like, yeah, it's gonna happen. They got a basement full of rations and all kinds of stuff that they'll ever need.
Canned beans and tomatoes.
But you have to think about it though. There's people out there that have years and years of supplies if anything happens. And especially after COVID,
Yeah.
so many people stocked up on everything.
People have that. People probably bought like storage units and just filled it up with emergency.
That's why you couldn't get anything at the grocery store for so long, is because so many people were just buying everything that they could.
Costco,
Was Costco?
bulk.
I don't remember Costco being open
I
during
don't know.
COVID. I feel like their shelves were so bare.
If they were open, people.
I mean, I have a feeling that they were probably closed most days of the week, and they would only open like on specific days. I don't know this, but I should probably look it up real quick.
Have you ever had Costco pizza?
I have had Costco pizza.
Is it good?
I'm not gonna hate on it.
I've been told it's good. I've never had it.
It's serviceable, and you kind of get what you pay for. It's like you get this big old pizza for about $10. You're like, dang, what a steal! And it doesn't keep very well.
Okay.
So if
Good note.
you get it, you pretty much got to eat it on the spot. It's super greasy.
Oh. Ooh.
So it's okay. I mean, it's not bad, but it's okay.
Don't they do like $1 a slice or something like that?
Something maybe. I mean, now their hot dogs are crazy cheap. So you just go ahead and get a Costco hot dog and go look at computers.
I don't think I've ever gone and gotten like an actual hot dog unless it's from the gas station.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't think I've ever gotten a hot dog on my own intentionally, unless I was at somewhere like an event.
Whenever we went to the Cotton Bowl?
We got corn dogs.
Oh, that's right.
You eat corn dogs at the Cotton Bowl. Because, I mean, that's where they're famous, is the Texas State Fair.
Yeah.
I'm going to end up
State
going.
Fair's cool.
I'm going to end up going again this year.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
it'll be fun. Really excited. I haven't had those corn dogs in so long.
Just like keister one and bring me one back.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if they let you take food out of the fair. I don't know why they wouldn't, but yeah, I'll bring you one. Let's see.
You can only bring food in. No food goes out.
Let's see. I'm going to look up at Costco 2020 shortage. Yeah, I mean, really just most places had the same kind of shortages. It was like toilet paper, disinfecting stuff, whether it was hand sanitizer,
Water.
rubbing alcohol, Clorox wipes.
Water.
Bottled water? Was that? Oh, yeah. I remember that. You couldn't get any bottled water. What you could get was chocolate milk.
Fuck yeah.
Who needs water when you can get chocolate milk?
Dude, I was thinking about it. They say money can't buy happiness, but like for like $3-4, I can buy some fucking chocolate milk, and that's gonna make me pretty damn happy.
Some chocolate happiness.
Chocolate happiness. It is so just. I get Promised Land, whole milk, midnight chocolate. Oh god.
Promised Land's good, but I still like Fairlife better. That ultra filtered.
The ultra filtered. If y'all ever tried Fairlife ultra filtered, that shit's.
It is awesome.
It's amazing.
It's interesting because I don't think any of us have a problem with dairy at all. But it's
lactose free.
It is, and so it's filtered, lactose free chocolate milk. I think they do strawberry too, and they do regular milk. But
sponsor us, Fairlife.
Seriously, but it's so good.
It's amazing.
It is gnarly. I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah, I remember my friend Rayvon. He's lactose intolerant. I was like, dude, I got this chocolate milk you can drink. Like, don't even worry about it.
I got that for him.
Yeah.
Are you more of a chocolate, like regular chocolate, or white chocolate kind of person?
Ooh, white chocolate, very rare occasion. I'll take white chocolate over even milk chocolate, but I'll take dark chocolate over milk chocolate.
So if you had the choice between like a Hershey's bar, or like a Lindt or a Ghirardelli, like 60-70% cocoa chocolate.
Oh, definitely the Ghirardelli.
Oh, really?
That shit's so good.
It is very good. I agree. And those Lindt truffle balls, like those?
Oh my god.
Those.
Don't even get me started.
I can go to town on some of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always, I don't know why, but it's just the glutton in me. I love the chocolate caramel mix in almost anything. I like, if you're from outside the United States, the Mars bar, that's a Milky Way here in the United States. So what's interesting is we have a Milky Way here, which is a Mars bar, I think in the UK. And then the Three Musketeers here is called a Milky Way in the UK.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fun.
So they don't. So what is it that they don't have? Because Three Musketeers, they don't have Three Musketeers. They have Mars bar and Milky Way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I've had a friend bring some candy from the UK before, Sam, and it's so odd. It's just the names of it. They just don't make any sense. You know how
Brooklyn.
Exactly. It's just like these, I don't know. It's just these odd names, and they're usually really good by themselves. And
It's
like,
good to pie.
I don't know what that is, and I don't think you do either, but yeah, they have some funky names over there for stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I'm sure that Three Musketeers sounds pretty weird to someone else that isn't from the United States.
Blumpkin. Do you know what that is?
What's Blumpkin?
I can't tell you what a Blumpkin is.
Is it not something that I should be saying?
It's one of those Urban Dictionary things.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, we can move on. But yeah, I do want to end up traveling and doing something fun someday, but I don't know how soon that's going to be because I kind of want to experience like all the foods, and
yeah, that's one thing. I want to travel, and
I just want to try the foods, honestly.
I want to experience the world. You're fat.
It's like I want to see the cool stuff, but also let me see some cuisine. Let's do some lean cuisine.
You're fat.
Oh, I just had like a childhood memory come flooding back to me. You remember it's cuisine. It's
Kid Cuisine.
Kid Cuisine. Do you remember those?
You're so fat.
No, I'm just saying. I just said the word cuisine and it just came back to me. Remember those? There's like a penguin on it.
Yeah, I remember those. Who is that penguin? What are his credentials?
I don't know, but man, he made some good cuisines.
Yeah.
He had like chicken nuggets.
Yeah, spaghetti.
Did he do spaghetti?
Yeah, they had remember the pudding?
Yes, I do remember the pudding. We put like sprinkles inside of it. Yeah, I do remember that.
Kid Cuisine went so hard.
Where did Kid Cuisine go? Where Lunchables just kind of took over?
There was one more that I'm trying to think of.
I think it was funny because we would make fun of people who got Lunchables in elementary school. Well, not like haha, you got Lunchables. Well, honestly, that kind of thing though. Like you got Lunchables, idiot. But then as we got older, people were like, dude, you got Lunchables? Hell yeah, Lunchables is so
go hard.
No, they don't. It's gross. Okay, like now that I'm looking at it, like, yeah, that's a pretty gross thing to eat.
Yeah.
Do you know who makes Lunchables?
Do not.
Oscar Mayer.
I don't know if I'm going to be eating anymore.
You didn't know that Oscar Mayer makes Lunchables?
Did not. Good thing to know.
Well, yeah, you know what Oscar Mayer makes. They do like
hot dogs.
They do hot dogs. I think they kind of branched onto other stuff too. Like, I could be wrong, but they do like chicken nuggets or something. Or maybe they,
It's not hard to do chicken nuggets now these days.
yeah, it's really not. You just get in touch with the Tyson factory, like, hey, make us some off-brand chicken nuggets, please.
Which colored slime do you want to make it? I'll take purple.
Purple. Yes, because you could color the Kid Cuisine. I think it was the puddings.
Yeah.
You could like put like a dust in them. You can like mix it up and turn it into a different color. Like I think it comes like white, but then they give you like a little packet that you can put into the pudding and change it to a different color. I'm sure it was terrible for you, but it was awesome.
Yeah.
You remember something that Bushi used to do? Our grandmother was she would cut strawberries for us. I was talking to Henry about this.
Just put the
And she put powdered sugar on top of the strawberry. Now listen, now hear me out. Strawberries are pretty sweet on their own.
Yeah.
Every now and then there's a kind of a bitter one that isn't as sweet as the rest of them. But that powdered sugar makes it so much better.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
I know a lot of people have tried sugar on strawberries, but if you haven't, look into it.
Sugar on strawberries, like, yeah, it's a sugar overload for sure, but
terrible.
But good gosh.
Lots of energy.
So good. But then people put sugar on all kinds of fruit. Because people put sugar on like blackberries.
God, that's the thing. Fruit is sugar.
It is.
Fruit already is natural sugar.
It is.
Like an apple is the same thing as a candy bar. And I'm probably not even wrong.
You're probably not that far off, yeah. I mean, it's very similar.
I mean, you gotta, like, there are sugary fruits, like watermelon.
Yeah.
That's just sugar water.
Yeah, watermelon's got a lot of sugar in it. That's the thing, there's like...
I'm healthy. I ate an apple today. Oh.
It's like, well, apples, they're still healthy for you. They still have some good nutrients in them. Like, the skin's really good for you. But then there's still the sugar factor. I mean, regardless if it was made in a factory or if it was sugar cane or it came from an orange... It's still sugar. It's still sugar. Your body still processes it the same way.
Yeah, there's about 3 groups of things that your body processes.
Yeah. Do you know what those 3 groups are?
Proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids. Check the facts.
Yeah, pretty much.
Lipids are just like natural fat.
Well, it's still just
fat.
It's just fat.
But like it's good fat. Lipids are good.
Not necessarily.
Too many lipids are not good.
Not necessarily.
I would say too many lipids is not okay. Too much of anything is not okay.
Well, the actual definition of a lipid, I mean, it's a micro, that's what I thought. A lipid's a micromolecule. So a fat is a macro. So just to put this in reference for you, micro just means smaller and macro is big.
Yeah.
And so then the macronutrient would be fat, and fat is all encompassing of that whole fruit group. So then it would just be fat, protein, carbohydrate. But anyways, do you prefer sunrises or sunsets?
It's kind of tough. I do like sunrises. They're very nice. Like, have you ever been camping?
Oh yeah, especially on the beach, they're nice.
Yeah, sunrise on the beach is nice, but you see sunset more. So I'm tempted to go with sunrise just because.
You don't see it as often?
I don't. I mean, do you wake up at fucking 5 a.m.?
No, I try not to. I just think a sunrise is more graceful.
Yeah, that's true.
Like nothing's going on. And it's just, in most cases, it's just you or whoever you're with, and then the sunrise.
Yeah.
Usually a lot more calm, at peace.
Mm-hmm.
And then the day starts, and everything gets crazy.
Yeah. But the one thing I do like about sunset is it's kind of like closing the zipper on the day.
Got to close the zipper every day.
Sun does that pretty well.
I mean, unless you pull an all-nighter, then I guess you close the zipper whenever you go to sleep.
Yeah, you ever pull an all-nighter and you like it starts to get light outside and you're like, no fucking way.
Yes. Unfortunately, too many times. Where I know it's late, and I'm like, okay, I need to go to sleep. And so I go.
Just one more mission.
No, not even that. It's like, I know it's late. I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to get in bed. And then I start to go to sleep. And I'm like, did it get a little bit lighter in here? And I look around, I'm like, oh my gosh, the sun's coming up. I'm like, yep, I really need to go to sleep right now. Otherwise, I'm going to be crazy exhausted and I'm going to get some terrible sleep.
Okay. Do you think, let's say you plan a bank operation or bank heist. You're gonna take like $100 million. You plan out this whole heist and it goes perfectly. They didn't even know you were in there.
So in and out, got what I wanted, and no one knows.
No one knows. And you take it to the police station and you say, hey, look, go check with the bank. Here's $100 million that I just took from there. Here's all of my plans. Here's how I did it. Do you think they would arrest you?
Yes. Yeah, they would arrest you.
What the fuck? I could be like, I could help you.
That's not how it works.
That's stupid.
Well, that's why there's people that have been convicted of these crimes and have gone to prison for it, or maybe in the case of that movie, Catch Me If You Can.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
Good movie. Basically, one of his options was either you go to prison for what you did, or you come work for the FBI and you help us get people who do the things that you do. And that was one of the conflicts towards the end of the movie, or the story at least. And it was a real story. That guy really did all that stuff. But then there's people who, like, a good example would be Larry Lawton. You know who that is?
I've heard of him.
He's like a ex-jewel thief from the 80s and 90s.
Like, so not jewel pods?
Not jewel pods. Those didn't exist yet. He was in prison when jewel pods were invented.
That sucks for him.
He was in prison for a long time. I think it was like 14 years.
Damn.
He got out earlier than his sentence on good behavior, I think. But man, prison will do something to you. Man, the stories of people that went in, I mean...
He goes in just talking all thug, and then he comes out like, hey!
not even that, but no, I know I was starting to stem off to a different line of conversation, but what I was saying earlier about Larry Lawton is now what he does is you can find him on YouTube. He likes to rate scenes from movies and how accurate they are, or GTA. He's done one on GTA, like how accurate the heist scenes are. It's interesting. And so what he does now is he works with, I don't know, I think he lives in Florida, so he works with the area in which he lives, the police department, the police force, and I think maybe even the FBI on catching jewel thieves. Oh. And so he's also working on prison reform too, because having lived through it, it was really crazy to hear his story about having to re-simulate with real life outside of prison because of what it was like.
Yeah, whenever you're in prison, it's just eat, sleep, and breathe prison for however long you're in there.
All right. And always having someone telling you what to do. And also like the Shawshank Redemption. I don't know if you ever saw that or saw it to the
I've seen parts of it.
Don't mean to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but also it came out in 1991, I think. You asked me about it earlier on an earlier podcast, and I got it wrong by a year. But anyways, I think it was
92.
Is it?
I think it's 92.
Okay. If you haven't seen it yet, well, it's been out for a long time. One of the inmates who had been there for a long time, the older man, he gets out and he has to re-assimilate himself with life and get a job and do whatever, and he couldn't do it. He killed himself. He couldn't manage doing things on his own because, well, you're always told what to do. Like in Larry Lawton's case, he told the story about whenever he was getting off the bus when he was going to the halfway house or something, like a holding place for him before he gets officially released. Mm-hmm. They're like, all right, we're going to stop here for 45 minutes, go inside, get your food, and meet us back here. Sounds like a baseball trip, but
yeah.
He goes into the subway and they ask him, what do you want? And he got like really emotional really quickly, and he couldn't make up his mind. He like stressed out over trying just to pick the bread for his sandwich because normally they just give you. I mean, for 14 years, he was just given what he needed, and he was told what to do. And when it was finally for him to make up his mind, trying to do something for himself, he couldn't do it.
14 years is the amount of time to go from kindergarten to 12th grade. Actually, it might be a little bit more. It might be a little bit off.
I think it's 13. So kindergarten first.
Oh, wait, no, it's 11.
No, what are you talking about? It's 13.
Kindergarten.
1, 2, 3, 4. To 12.
Oh, I'm stupid 13. I don't know why I thought 10.
But anyways, but yeah, and so prison's effed up in that way. And it's also weird how it's state sponsored, not state sponsored, but like prisons get money they get funded by government based on the amount of inmates they have in some cases.
That's kind of fucked.
And also the private prisons that are basically a business, and they make money based on how many prisoners they have, and so they're inclined to arrest more people because then the prison makes more money, which is so nuts.
That's just not right.
It's so not right. And I saw something earlier about Jamie Foxx. He's talking about his dad. I didn't read the whole thing or listen to the whole thing. I should have now that I'm thinking about it. Jamie Foxx was talking about his dad. He went to prison with, I mean, it was like something like $5 worth of weed or something. And he went to prison for an exorbitant amount of time. I mean, like, I think like 10 years or something. He got sentenced to 10 years for having
Back then, the laws were so strict for just nothing.
I know.
Like, if you had if you had an eighth, whoo, you're a drug dealer, man. But like an eighth is just it's the lowest option you can get.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you've heard of the war on drugs, right?
Yeah.
You know what that is? I guess that was something that the Reagan administration, I don't guess, I think that's something that the Reagan administration implemented, the war on drugs. They're going to stop drugs.
Yeah.
But if anything, it's made drugs worse.
It's just complicated it.
It's made it so much worse because people still want drugs. I mean, just the fact that you're saying like, oh, drugs are bad. It's like, it's not going to stop someone from wanting to get drugs.
Telling someone not to do something like, hey, like if you tell a kid, don't fuck with that cup, I don't know, it's going to make them want to fuck
Exactly.
with that cup.
Well, not even that, but also why is alcohol legal when alcohol kills, I think it's 500,000 people a year. I could be wrong about that. Let me get that stat right.
They got the wrong thing illegal right now.
Well, they outlawed alcohol, you know, the prohibition. Yeah.
I'm not stupid. I ain't lacking.
Let's see. Alcohol.
It was like in 1845.
No. What are you talking about? It was in the 30s or the 20s. It was
Really?
like, you know, the idea of a speakeasy. You know what a speakeasy is?
I've heard of it.
You know what a speakeasy is?
I took Mangum's class when we went through those years. He was
well, okay, no shade on Mangum. I like Mangum.
Yeah, Mangum's awesome. Dude, no bullshit. I saw Mangum running down the side of 360 the other day. Like I passed him and I looked over and I was just like, no fucking way.
Okay, so I was off, but it's about 100,000 people a year die annually from alcohol.
Damn. That's still a lot of people. I mean, 10 years.
100,000 people? That is a lot of people.
Yeah.
That is so many people. That's per year. And then I don't know how many people die from
drug abuse.
Yeah, like typical drug abuse. Like I don't know.
I want to see what that number is as a whole.
When I say typical, I just mean whenever you hear people who overdose on, I feel like more people die from prescription drugs than they do from street drugs. You know what I mean? I feel like you hear about more overdoses from people taking things like Xanax or things they can get over the counter or painkillers. I think painkillers are one of the more common ones.
Ooh, dang. Drug overdoses aren't far behind. In 2019, 70,000.
70,000.
That's still,
but
it's a fuck ton of people.
It's a lot of people, but does it break down what kinds of drug overdoses they are?
I haven't gotten that far.
But then, so you say there's a war on drugs, but also shouldn't you make a war on tobacco and a war on alcohol?
Yeah, those should come first. Actually, overdoses went up to 93,000 in 2020 because of the pandemic. There's nothing to do. Let's get fucking railed.
A lot of depressed people, unfortunately.
That is true. Very sad.
I'm not going to say I was one of those people, but there wasn't a whole lot to do.
Not during the pandemic, but I've been there. It's not fun.
Yeah.
But it is a lot of it, I will say, is a mindset. Like, if you can just start with fixing your mindset, it'll go a long fucking way.
You remember that show that we would listen to in the morning when Dad would take us to school?
KLBJ.
Yeah, it was news radio for sports.
590.
590 a.m. And I think it was Chip
and Chad.
Yeah, Chip and Chad in the morning and
oh my God.
talking sports. And he would always, I think we would get, school started at 9. And whenever we pulled up to the same stoplight every morning, we usually got there around 8:50. And always at the same opening. And he would say, in the wise words of my wife, happiness is a choice.
Yes.
Said it every morning.
Oh my gosh.
It instilled those words in me every day for at least a few years. I would say from 8th grade ninth grade, 10th grade, and then in 11th grade I started driving on my own. But at least for 3 years straight, every morning, happiness is a choice. Happiness is a choice.
It is.
It is. It absolutely is. It's hard to get there sometimes.
Yeah.
It's really easy to look at the bad things and be like,
you got to look at the bigger picture.
Right. And sometimes it's hard to get to that point.
It can be.
Because you can just sit there and dwell and focus on the things that suck. That's kind of something that happened with me about 2 months ago. I was like, all right, I'm looking at things the wrong way. I need to look at things differently than I have been.
Yeah, you got really fat.
I got pretty chunky. Yeah, definitely the worst shape I've ever been in my life. But I could blame it on a consequence of COVID and just being an animal. And
yeah, just you're a beast.
Yeah, just a beast that could do it all. No, yeah. I don't know what happened because for so long I'd always been working out and doing things and playing baseball or whatever it was. And then I just you know what? I've always been that guy. I've always done it. I'm fine.
Let me just do something else.
I was I'm just going to try and do something else. I'm not going to worry about working out. I'm not going to focus on, because I would rarely eat fast food. I wouldn't really do anything.
I don't eat it a whole lot recently, once a week.
Kind of, yeah. I definitely ate it way too much over the last year at least. And I kind of just didn't care. And then I got to the point I was like, okay, it's time. We're gonna do something different here. And so I think I've gone from probably the worst physical shape I've been in my entire life to arguably one of the better ones that I've ever had.
That's good.
It's just about 2 months. I would say, actually not even 2 months. I would say a month and 29 days.
2 months, man.
Okay. It's been almost exactly. I would say tomorrow would be 2 months. But yeah, 2 months time. It's kind of, it took a really big commitment on my part to want to stick with it, but
yeah, you're there. You built the habit.
Yeah. As long as that's kind of what I did is there's a handful of things that I knew that I wanted to change that I needed to change, but I was like, okay, I can't do everything all at once. And if I try to do that, then I'm not going to stick to any of it. I was like, okay, I'm going to pick at least one or two things right now. And then the rest will come with time. I'm like, okay, I've got these habits down. Let's try another one. Let's do one more. And then after that one down, it's like, all right, let's try this new habit now. And it just kind of build upon it itself, kind of like laying a foundation of good habits.
Nice.
Yeah. I think one of my worst habits that I'm still trying to break is the sleeping
You're a
one.
Fucking mouth breather.
I'm definitely not a mouth breather, but hopefully no one notices. It's the sleeping thing, man. I'm still trying to get there. That's a hard one for me. I just
sleep at midnight.
Sleeping having a sleep schedule just in general.
During COVID, whenever I'd be leaving your place, we'd be playing Smash, and I'd be like, all right, I'm leaving. And
it'd be like 1 o'clock in the morning.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I'm leaving. I'm tired. I gotta go. And he's like, no, come on, just one more game. One more game. I'm like, okay, Brandt, one more game. Finish that. All right, it's 1:05. I gotta go. Just no, come on, just 3 more games and you're good to go. So we'll play 3 more games, and then I'm like, okay, Brandt, it's
1:30.
Yeah, it's 1:30. I'm fucking tired. I said I was gonna go 30 minutes ago. Just hear me out. Just one more game.
I definitely did that at least 2 or 3 times.
You did that more than 2 or 3 times, but it's okay. Lots of more games.
Yeah, lots of more games. But that was another one of those things on the habit list I was breaking. I know I've talked about it before. But yeah, just taking especially just taking small steps. Taking the first step is the hardest one in general.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we went from alcohol deaths per year. That's the last thing that's on my computer.
I mean, they're kind of opposites in a way, so it's kind of easy to get there.
Yeah, super easy. We just kind of went straight for it. But yeah, the prison thing's crazy. It's bonkers. That shouldn't happen. But then that's the thing is people say oh yeah, we should fix the prisons. They're all messed up. It's okay. How are you gonna fix it? People are we need to fix it. It's how? Tell me how you're gonna fix it. I think that's probably the bigger problem with politicians is they're yeah, we need to do these things. It's all right, what's the plan? Do you have a plan?
Just pick a random famous person that everyone knows, everyone likes. That's important.
Matthew McConaughey.
He's a dick.
Is he?
Are you kidding?
I don't. If he's a dick, I don't know.
Dude, you know.
Okay, I'll pick someone else. Ed Sheeran.
Okay, that works. Okay. Let's suppose you have a product you sell. It doesn't really matter what it is because if you put a famous person on the front, anyone will buy it. But say you have a product, you had to pick from your spokesperson being Ed Sheeran, Snoop Dogg, or Shaq.
It depends what I'm selling.
Maybe it's the same thing.
If I'm selling something that could just in the slightest way be related to weed, I'm picking Snoop Dogg.
Okay. I mean, I see that point. Yeah.
If I'm selling anything else, Shaq's my man. Anything else. It doesn't matter what it is. Shaq can make almost anything funny.
Yeah.
Like if I want to sell a cactus, I know who I'm going to.
Cactus Shaq?
Yeah. The Shactus.
The Shactus? Oh, I haven't seen that in so long. I really want to watch this.
Don't touch the Shactus.
Don't touch the Shaq.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to watch that after this.
Shaq is hilarious. If I was selling headphones, Shaq's selling my headphones. If I was selling fuel, I was selling a new kind of gas for your car, Shaq is selling that gas.
Shaq
and it's going to work too. People are going to buy that gas. Yeah, so Shaq's my guy. I feel like you feel the same way.
Yeah, I'd probably pick Shaq.
But in what case would you pick Ed Sheeran?
Guitar.
If you were selling a guitar, yeah.
But I mean, I guess Shaq could work on the guitar.
I think a Shaq guitar would sell very well.
Oh my god, I want to make that Shaq guitar. Like the body of the guitar is his face.
That would be perfect.
I'm gonna make that.
You're gonna make the Shaq guitar and be like, hey Shaq, I've got this thing. Can we make like 10,000 of them? Can you finance this and sponsor it? He'd be like, hell yeah, we're gonna make the Shaq guitar. And then there you go. Now you got a business selling Shaq guitars.
Dude, the Shaq guitar. Oh my god. I already know how to make it.
You could honestly make so many products.
Oh my gosh. I'm actually going to work on that.
You're going to work on the Shaq guitar?
I just need to figure out who I need to talk to speak to Shaq.
That's usually a hard one. I feel like if there's ever like someone that you want to talk to, like whether it's a celebrity or someone that's kind of important in some way.
You got a big handful of people to talk to before you can speak directly.
Not even that, but it's like, where do you even go? Where's the first step? Who do you call?
Just look up on Google, what's Shaq's phone number?
I guess what you would end up doing is, that would make the most sense, is maybe contacting his agency of some kind, whether it's his, because he doesn't play basketball anymore, so he couldn't contact like the agency that represents him in basketball. But
he does not news. He does fucking Sports Center.
Yeah, so whoever his agency service is, I guess that's who you would contact. I think that would make the most amount of sense.
Hey, I got a deal for you. Hey, look. Let me speak to Shaq. We can make a lot of money. We can get this done. I got about 10,000 guitars that resemble your client.
That got Shaq's face on them. And we're going to call it the Shiguitar.
The Shiguitar. I've been trying to brainstorm names.
The Shatar. The Shakar.
The Shakhtar.
The Shakhtar. The Shakhtar.
The Shakhtar.
Well, good. I'm glad you got another idea that you can work on. Hopefully it tickles your brain. Now you're just sitting there.
I'm just brainstorming names.
You're in the zone right now. I'm looking at you.
I saw a really funny meme about Shaq. It was like Shaquilleus O'Nealius or some bullshit, like making his name long.
Yeah.
I think it's funny whenever, like, have you seen the proper way to spell Tony?
No.
It's like PHTOUGHNEIOUGH.
I think I've seen that. That just goes back to the English language being so weird and how so many things can work in the same way.
If you didn't learn English as your first language, then that sucks.
Welcome to the suck.
Yeah, welcome to the suck. You saw that meme with Corona beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Delta 8 was like, really, who's picking names for this?
No, Delta was. The airline.
Yeah.
You said Delta 8.
Delta 8 Airlines. Some weed airlines. No, but yeah.
And Corona was like, welcome to the suck.
Welcome to the suck. Yeah, I was at my friend's apartment and Catherine was making like all kinds of like inspirational things like don't give up, you got this. And I walked over there and I remembered one thing. And honestly, Brandt, I'm not even bullshitting you. Every day since that one night at baseball practice, I think about it almost every day. When we were about to go out and do the World Series thing for the little, like at Calvin's place, St. Michael's.
Oh yeah.
When we were going to do like the little inter squad World Series. We were in the batting cage and there was the whiteboard and you wrote on the whiteboard and you're like, Major, don't forget this. And you wrote, don't suck. And I wrote that on one of the papers at Nikolai's and put it there and he was like, who wrote this? This is my favorite thing.
Don't suck.
Don't suck.
Don't do it. You got any plans after this?
Yeah. I'm going to meet up with David, but I don't know exactly what we're doing tonight.
Is David going to come on?
Yeah, I told him either tomorrow or next week. I just told him to start brainstorming some things he wants to talk about.
Well, he doesn't have to. He can just come on whenever he wants.
I mean, yeah. Well, whatever works.
Well, like literally right now we're just riffing. I got anything?
I mean, I can text him and he can be here in 7 minutes.
I mean, he could, but also we're getting ready to wrap this thing up at some point. So
2-hour special. No,
2-hour special. But no.
You asked me if I had anything to do after this, so it sounds like from English literature that you want to keep going.
English literature?
Yes, my assumptions based off the acquisitions that you have proposed.
Yeah, get there. One step at a time. Michael Scott. You had no idea where that sentence was going.
No, I was trying to just get there. I knew exactly where it was going in the end.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, let's say another question. If you were growing up and you didn't play baseball, and you didn't play football.
Porn.
No. What would be your choice now through the sport that you wish you played growing up?
If is baseball not allowed?
Or I mean, if you want to do baseball again, you can.
I would probably do baseball again, but if I was gonna pick something else, either basketball, skateboarding.
Skateboarding.
Honestly, I really wish I've been trying to skate. Like whenever I started in 7th grade, I really wish I stuck with it for like just a year. I skateboarded for like 2 months. I learned how to ride, but I didn't learn anything else. I really wish I had just stuck with it just a little bit longer.
Why? Because it's just fun?
It is fun to me, and it would come a little bit more easy. Just, those things that you learn as a kid, it's kind of hard to forget. Because, like, I remember, like, we used to go skiing all the time, and then we hadn't gone skiing in, like, 5 years. I remember walking up to where we put our skis on, and I was just like, dude, I don't fucking know how to ski. I haven't done this. As soon as I popped those bitches in, I was like, let's fucking get out of here, bro. Like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
No, I know that. I know what you're talking about. I know that feeling. But skateboarding is interesting.
Just because, honestly, one of my favorite things to do is just, I watch skateboarding clips. Just like, there's people make these clips, like 5-minute, 10-minute montages of just 10-minute or 10-second clips. And people are just wizards and they're fearless. Like, the people that understand how the skateboard works and they feel comfortable in all aspects on it, those people go so insanely hard.
Yeah.
Like, it's mesmerizing to me watching people, like, and they know how it's going to happen. Like, they know how it's going to go.
You know what's interesting as a whole for sports?
Sports.
The longer that sports have been around, the better and better we've gotten at them. So,
yeah, that is true.
So, like, you look back, like, all these Hall of Famers in these sports, like baseball and basketball and football and other sports too. Like, oh, those are the legends. They were so great. But, like, I would say even now, like, just the regular dudes that are, just trying to find a spot somewhere on whatever roster, they're just as good, if not better, in terms of talent. Or
like, if not to like dog him, but like if Babe Ruth stepped up to bat against like Max Scherzer,
I had a feeling you were gonna say Max Scherzer. Do you think Jacob DeGrom's the best pitcher in baseball right now?
That is debatable, but
right now as it stands, the best
with his current stats.
I would say the best pitcher in baseball as it is right now is Jacob DeGrom. I don't think it's even close. But anyways, I see what you're saying.
If Jacob DeGrom and Babe Ruth went at it, I think Jacob DeGrom would just make him spin.
I think so too, because You know the stories that Babe Ruth was drinking beer and eating hot dogs in the dugout in between innings
How can you do that? You get so
and still
bloated.
set the record for the most amount of home runs in a single season, and that record stay there for as long as it did. I think Hank Aaron broke it. I think maybe I'm wrong,
friggin' Hank.
but that was a record for at least like 60 years, 70 no 50 or 60 years. That was the record, and he was doing it buzzed on beer and hot dogs. But now, the guys in the dugout are taking pre-workout and getting coked up before they go on the field. I mean, those guys are on some, I wouldn't say performance enhancing. Also, how do you feel about the new rule in baseball where
Pine tar?
like there's no substances at all allowed?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit.
Because like you can mix rosin and sweat. And rosin, they've always had rosin.
Yeah.
You mix rosin and sweat, it makes this really sticky substance that you can use to have more attack on the ball. I don't know.
I mean, I get the one thing that was kind of just like, okay, is when they did like belt, glove, hat checks whenever they come off the field every inning. Okay. Because, I mean, I can see why they would do it every inning, because then if they don't do it, innings 3, 5, and 8, then you can just use pine tar for those innings. But
yeah,
come on.
I mean, it doesn't take a bunch of time, but also it just feels demeaning and degrading for the pitcher. It's like, really, you think I'm cheating?
But then it can also be taken as a compliment, like, fuck yeah, I'm dealing.
Yeah, who was it? It was like one of the first days, Max Scherzer, when he's pitching for the Nationals, they checked him 3 times in a matter of like a couple of innings. Or maybe it was 3 times throughout the game. Because normally what they would do is they would check you maybe like in the 3rd inning or something, or they'd check you right as you came off the field. But they checked him in the 1st inning, they checked him like in the 5th inning, and then they checked him again right before he was done. And that's that clip where he like throws his glove in his hat and he starts taking his belt off. And I don't know if you've seen that, but
Yeah, I've seen that.
yeah, he was pretty aggressive about it. He was clearly flustered.
Yeah, it would be kind of annoying.
Yeah. But think about it, like really, how obvious would it be if you were getting substances from the inside of your belt? You're just sitting here grabbing your belt in between every pitch. I think the most creative one, I'm not saying that anyone's done this thus far, and I wouldn't be surprised if they have, but guys that have a flow, they got the hair coming out the back.
Put it in there.
Put it in their hair. I think there might be a guy or two that's doing that right now. I don't know who, but I've definitely seen a clip or two of some random pitcher for whoever team grabbing his hair all the time. And maybe it's just because it's sweaty and it's just long hair and he's just moving it, grabbing it, getting the wind going through it. But that'd be pretty smart to stick it in your hair. Mm-hmm. I think one of the most famous ejections was I think Michael Pineda for the Yankees. Yeah, he had it on his neck. He was like shiny, like right through here, through his neck when he had pine tar. And he had like on his forearm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a lot of places to hide it.
Yeah, but also at the same time, baseball is so weird with its rules. You know, like there's one the other day. Have you ever heard of a catcher's balk?
Is that where it's just like a catcher's interference?
No, a catcher's balk.
Oh wait, yes, I have heard of this. You can only pick one stance. Like whenever the pitch is coming in, you can't move right at the end of the pitch.
No, not that.
Oh,
a catcher's balk is when you use a part of your equipment to stop the ball that it wasn't intended for. And it happened about 3 days ago. And I'm surprised that the umpire called it immediately. What he did was the catcher for the Giants, he went down to block the ball, and the ball was just kind of like skittering off to the left, not very far, maybe into the left-handed batter's box. Takes off his mask, and he uses his mask to stop the ball. And they call it catcher's balk.
damn.
Yeah.
I know you can't use your hat.
To stop the ball?
Yeah. I remember one time, like, I used my hat during practice, and coach was like, what the fuck are you doing? You can't do that. And I was like, oh, it was fun.
I remember in high school baseball, I think you remember this too. I'm not going to say the guy's name, but it might have been freshman year scrimmage or something. But it was definitely against another team. And I wasn't playing. Either he was on the team technically below us, or I think I had an off day or something. And there's a ball hit to right field, and he's playing right field, and it goes over his head, and he takes off his glove, and he throws it up in the air trying to stop the ball. He literally did it in a game.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I mean, can you? Can you not take your glove off your hand and throw it at the ball to try and stop it?
I mean, if you can, then we have been practicing wrong for a very long time.
Man, you have that
Think
accuracy.
about how many home runs you could stop.
If you could just throw your glove up in the air and catch it.
Oh my gosh.
That's all the same thing as like playing ping pong and then throwing your paddle at the ball.
Yeah.
I feel like we've tried that so many times, but it's never
Just
worked.
nail the wall.
Never worked, yeah. There's definitely marks on the wall from the ping pong battles that we've thrown. We've also done a lot of stupid things at the ping pong table.
Yeah. You can make your back fart on a ping pong table.
It's funny because I was actually about to say that. Figured that out. It's actually kind of
You
fun.
showed me that.
Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something that everyone should do at some point in their life is get a mask. Get a mask, like a
baby mask.
like a mask of a baby, or a horse mask, or a clown mask, or a gorilla mask, and just go out in public and wear it.
Yeah.
Just wear it.
What's up? My name's Andrew.
I had a really good experience the first time I did that.
Wait, you used the horse mask and went out?
You don't remember that?
I mean, at the fireworks stand?
Yeah, at the fireworks stand.
Yeah, I remember
There's,
that.
yeah, so it was like I think it was New Year's Eve or it was the 30th, and we went to get fireworks for either the next day or that night. I think it was the next day, and I just decided I'm gonna wear the horse mask because we have a horse mask. And we get there, and I remember I had the horse mask on. I got my hoodie on. I think I was wearing shorts and sandals. It's kind of cold, and there's this kid there, and he's got this whole cowboy get up. And all of a sudden, you can't really see anything out of the mask. All you can see is through the nostrils, I think.
There's not a whole lot of visibility.
And so I couldn't really tell what was going on around me. I was just wearing this horse mask, and you and Nick and Ben were kind of doing the talking with the fireworks stand about which ones we wanted. And then out of nowhere, I was taking a video, and this kid has a lasso, and he throws it. I feel it like wrap around my leg a little bit, and then it wraps. Like he actually lassoed me, and he starts pulling on me, and he like spins me around, and I'm hopping on one foot with this kid's got me lassoed around the leg. I'm actually surprised he did it.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that works.
Cool.
Like, how does that even work? Like, I was standing still. My feet were planted on the ground, and he lassoed my leg around my ankle. How does that work?
I mean, it probably came over the top of your head.
Oh, it did. Now that I think about it, it went over my head because I remember in the video that I took, you can hear the lasso and you can see it like go over my head. And he just wrapped me around the leg and he started tugging on me. That was a good experience. But everyone should have that. Everyone should have an experience like that where they just go out wearing a mask and do something goofy. But maybe the prank life isn't for everyone. I thought it was much of a prank anyways.
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
Nothing.
Okay, good. Well, I think with that,
That might be the end of it.
I think for today we'll be back tomorrow. You good with that?
Yeah, but we'll be back tomorrow. You got any wise words of wisdom for our audience?
I do.
I do too.
Oh, okay. Then you go first.
I mean, like I was gonna say something if you didn't, but if you have something, go for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say something.
Okay, go for it.
Don't suck. Hey, man, you called?